It's a little teaser for you there. Thank you very much. And Sissy, thank you very much. I'm grateful to receive this prestigious award named for your grandfather, Senator Everett Dirksen. I also want to thank the National Press Foundation. Congratulations to Tim and Brody. I want you all to know that pregnant women don't do shtick, so you're not going to get that here tonight. But, I really do believe that Congress is the best beaten town. The one place where we reporters can walk up to the principals that we cover and ask them questions directly. Approach John McCain and not know whether you're going to get that familiar smile or that familiar snarl. Follow Harry Reid to his office trying to figure out just exactly what he meant to say in that news conference he just had. But I've been walking the halls of Congress for many years on and off, and I still pinch myself over the remarkable access that we get. The gift means even more watching the people in the Middle East and North Africa raise their voices and sometimes lose their lives based on the basic freedoms that, frankly, we do all take for granted. Tonight is especially humbling because it's the second time I'm honored to receive this award, and I've been thinking about how much the business has changed since 2002, which is the last time I was standing here. I'd broken news that the government had intercepted communications the day before 9/11 that were never translated, missed clues that the attacks were coming. I was a producer then, and our national security reporter at the time, David Ensor, took the news to air. TV was pretty much our only outlet for getting the news out. Now, that was 8.5 years ago, or perhaps better put, Mark Zuckerberg was just starting out at Harvard then. There was no Facebook. There was definitely no such thing as Twitter. And today I would have written it for CNN.com, tweeted it, and linked it to Facebook as soon as we got the news. It's obviously a lot easier to get information out now, and for the most part I think that is a positive thing for journalism. But call me old-fashioned, I still believe there is a desire and a need for reporting that takes more than 140 characters, especially in explaining the confounding workings of Congress. It's why I'm so delighted that the National Press Foundation recognized our story about senators who unabashedly hold up presidential nominations as leverage for their unrelated projects or legislative goals. It's not a new concept, but it is nice, as you heard some of it, to take the time to see and hear senators in rare moments of candor fessing up and explaining why they do this. The same goes for another story that we did about senators taking money for pet projects from a bill that was supposed to go to fund the war. They're taking it for pet projects back home. It's hard to believe that a year later, after we did that story, leaders in both parties are promising no more earmarks. Maybe they're taking a cue from the late, great Senator Everett Dirksen, for whom this award is named. He's quoted as saying, "Life is not a static thing. The only people who do not change their minds are incompetents in asylums who can't, and those in cemeteries." I'm incredibly lucky to work with a stellar team at CNN. I want to recognize Lisa Jansen, who's out there somewhere, who was an indefatigable force in putting these stories together on Senate holds and earmarks. Evan Glass, who worked on another behind-the-scenes story with me, and countless others. The dogged reporters I am privileged to work with in our Capitol Hill unit. Ted Barrett, CNN's Senate producer. Deirdre Walsh, CNN's House producer. My wonderful colleague Brianna Keeler, producers Matt Hoy, Swantai, and Rachel Streitfeld, the camera crews who did this, who should always get applause, I think, and Joanne Sierra, who is the editor. Craig Brofman, our fearless leader, whose commitment to journalism with context and objectivity is practically unparalleled. I also want to thank my CNN bosses who are here somewhere. Thank you very much for coming, and other colleagues who are here tonight, and my incredible parents who are here. They met at WBKB in Chicago nearly 45 years ago, and they gave me the journalism gene. They've always been my sounding boards and my cheerleaders. My brother David and Juliana for being so supportive and coming, as well as friends who are here from near and far. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge some of the people here on the dais I'm very lucky to know. Al Hunt and Andrea Mitchell, congratulations on your awards tonight. And I also want to talk about Judy Woodruff, who is here as a spouse, but has always been a mentor to me, especially when you were at CNN. In fact, when I was offered the job on air at CNN, she was one of the first people I called. I don't know if you remember this. And I asked for advice, and she was kind enough to fib and say, "Don't worry, it'll be fine." And speaking of spouses, I also want to thank my husband, John King, who is the journalist I most admire, but also the person who keeps me grounded, reminds me what's really important in life, and believe it or not, the person who says to me, "Honey, put the BlackBerry down. It's time to stop working. Thank you.